Alright, greetings Peanutians, and welcome to a little bit of an event skills math breakdown. This is underneath the context of the following. One being, you are going strictly for EXP for your mules, or for example, currently as of recording of this video, Mushuan. But this is also putting into secondary aspect, as in your arcane symbols and your grand symbols are second priority. So, with that being said, this is actually going to be more or less, to my knowledge, unless Nexon changes the way the points work for future event skills, this is going to be universal for both the Victoria Cup event as well as the ones later on. So, just to explain what you're seeing right now, I have broken up each week into their 5 specific days of the ones that you can actually accumulate points for each day's worth of dailies. So, we got available points that you get per 5 days of the week, and it goes up more and more and more. And these are the total amounts that you accumulated for these specific ranges, as well as the one that you put in. MP EXP, Arcane EXP, Grandis EXP is essentially how many points, if you look right here, is how many points they need for each specific level. And then I put the corresponding level for how much EXP you spent down in the bottom for these 3 specific rows. For example, this says 5, which if you actually look at the chart, there actually isn't one for 5, but that's because it's level 1 and 2 combined together. And before anyone actually says it in the comments, yes, I know my Excel sheet is kind of garbage. Like, it doesn't have any fancy data arrays or data indexes, which would have been way more appealing and way more visually pleasing as well. But this is crude. It was simple to make. It is essentially what I'm going to be using for this, and it gets the job done. Also, if you actually look at the bottom, this is also assuming that you're doing each specific day's worth of dailies, check-in specific for that specific day, and you're not like lagging behind by 1 or 2 days, which we actually can fail 2 days per week. So, therefore, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday being the last day that you'll be accumulating any event points for this specific event. So, the logic behind this is the following. You're going to want to have Monster Park more than you're going to want the arcane symbols. Because if you actually look down here below, I took the liberty of actually putting down the corresponding numbers for each one. For Vanishing Journey, Choo Choo, Lockleon, Arcana, MOST, and Esfera, each specific one has their specific amount of EXP you get per single run, and then these are the 7. And as you can tell on why I'm actually emphasizing why you want to do Monster Park more than arcane dailies is simply because of the following. It's way more EXP long-term. It's way more EXP long-term. But you might be asking, oh, but Peanut, Vanishing Journey, Choo Choo, Lockleon, Arcana, MOST, and Esfera, you're going to be doing all of these back to back to back. Surely it outweighs all of this, right? Eh, not really. Just look at it crudely. You got 0.7 bill versus 1.8, and then you got 0.7 bill plus 2.1 bill, which is roughly going to be 2.9 if you actually do some of the off numbers. So that's going to be 2.9 versus 8.9. Then you got 2.9 plus 3.1, which is going to be 7 versus 22.5 bill. So it's just going to scale higher and higher, which is pretty much the reason why Monster Park is going to be better. But to those who are like me, who are paranoid and wish to have clarity and peace of mind for the data, we're going to be using the Wacky Beans website. And just give you a little bit of perspective, we are going to start at level 200. I'm going to do the start, midpoint, and the end point, being start point being Vanishing Journey, midpoint being Lockleon, and end point being Esfera, just so you have a little bit of a scale for people who actually want to see this visually. So, if we go back here real quick, I'm only going to do the first 2 levels because it's going to scale because they're the exact same EXP, so regardless, 5, 10, 20%, all of it scales, so it'll be the exact same. So I will not be showing them individually. For all 6 levels, I'm going to do the first 2 just to show it off. So, we have level 2 Monster Park right here, and then on day 2, we have Monster Park level 3 and Arcane level 1. So, we go from there. Oh, actually, no. More specifically, I'm going to be showing you what happens if you were going to go Monster Park as the hard focus versus the Arcane River dailies as the focus. So, we'll be doing the following. We'll show you the Arcane River dailies and then the Monster Park level 2 and 3s. So currently, you'll have level 2 and level 3 back to back, because if you actually look at this specifically, you have level 2 and then you have level 3. So with that one, we'll just flip-flop it afterwards. So as you can tell, we have our level 2 and level 3, since they're back to back days. Come down here, Monster Park 7 total runs, 1 Vanishing Journey. So, and we changed this, let's just arbitrarily put it to the end of the event. Our goal is 260. And as you can tell, we hit level 210 at we hit May 10, no, level 210 on May 11th. And then if we just flip-flop it over, we get rid of you, and we get rid of you, and then we instead go for level 2 for on the 30th, and level 3 is on this specific day. We click save, and level 210 is May 10th. So, and then if we just say we're going to be doing Choo Choo and Lockley means we're going to be 220, that's when we unlock it. So 220, so we just click all of these. And it's the same one, we're just going to go back and forth and just go in a little bit of a zigzag with our numbers. So, click calculate again. We hit level 225 on May 5th, which is the next area that we're unlocking. That's how I'm using this metric, so I do apologize if this is a little bit odd in the way I'm explaining it. Then we go back, we flip-flop you back, we go to Wednesday, and then we go to Thursday, we get rid of you two, and now we are comparing to how much Arcane River would be versus Monster Park if we gave Arcane River the higher amount. Click recalculate, we actually overall less EXP as well, and 225 is now May 6th. So generally speaking, it's 1 day slower in the end, so you're kind of just like pulling hairs at this point. If you want more arcane symbols, you can do that. But just to do what I was going to say, level 6, all 6 of the symbols, which means we're at 235 now. Go up here. We are starting with the symbols again. So symbols, we will note that at 240, it takes us up to May 9th. And if we swap them back again, the 30th and then the 1st, clear out these two, save. So, compared to May 9th, it's still the same, but it's more EXP. We get more EXP. And just to show it again in case people missed it, 30, and the 1st, get rid of you two. So that was with Monster Park. With Monster Park, we end up at 253.28. With the symbol, it's 252.13. So, this is why I'm saying Monster Park is the better one to focus on first. And I'm going to be posting this spreadsheet on my Twitter if people want to see the actual still picture of it and, you know, not zoomed in like this. It's zoomed in strictly just so I can actually show you guys this. So, just to give you a concept of what happens on the first week, you're going to end up with level 4 Monster Park, level 1 Arcane, and level 1 Grandis. And then from there, you are going to be at level 5 Monster Park on the second day of the 5th week, on the second week. And then on day 5 of the second week, you'll be level 6 for Monster Park. So on the second week, this should already be maxed out. And then on week 3, we are for first day, we got level 2 and level 2 for Arcane and Grandis. The next day, you're going to have level 3 for Arcane River. And day 4, you'll have level 4. And for the 4th week, on day 2, you'll have level 5 for Arcane River. And on the 5th day of the 4th week, you'll be level 6. And then we scroll down to the 5th week. On the 5th week, Grandis will be level 3 and level 4 on days 1 and 2 respectively. And on day 4 of that same week, it'll be level 5. And then on week 6, you'll be level 6 on day 2. And as you can tell, most events that have event skills have since been following this amount of like skill points, or how much is being required for like these specific arrays right here. So this overall should be universal for the most part. And as you can tell, 6 weeks is typically not how long most events last. They last a little bit longer for the ones that actually have this style of event skills. That means after week 6, or specifically on week 6 on the after the 3rd day, you can do whatever you want, because you will start getting more and more points. And remember, this is underneath the context of you wanting to focus on your mules rather than your mains, which is what I usually do. Which means Monster Park goes first, Arcane River, EXP, and the symbols play second fiddle to the EXP from Monster Park, and Grandis is just Grandis. In my opinion, Grandis EXP overall doesn't really matter. It's already a good chunk of EXP regardless for your main. Working on your mules is also a good point to actually be on for this one. So that's why I don't really care for the Grandis symbols. Grandis symbols, they take a long time anyways, and we get a bunch for free from symbols and selector coupons, which I personally feel because of the selector coupons, you'll be using those for Grandis always. You will rarely, if at all, ever use the symbol selectors on arcane symbols. So This is why I also feel like getting the Arcane symbols as a secondary, because they're already going to piggyback on the EXP, because in my opinion, the EXP is what you should be focusing on. So that's, once again, Monster Park, Arcane River EXP, then the symbols, and then Grandest EXP and the symbols, because you're going to obviously want these. The other event skills, typically, assuming Nexon does not change this, would be the following. We have the Soul Order energy, which I feel only regular servers should ever consider getting this. Then you have the Bounty Portal, which I already have a video covering the logic of the actual Bounty Portal EXP, which Bounty Portals are always great. Bounty Portal, in my opinion, if you're not training this and you're strictly doing daily story, which I will have noted in the video, you're not going to really benefit too much from the Bounty Portals anyways, unless you're going to be training long term, then that's an entirely different story. And the other one, I don't quite remember what it was, but regardless, I personally don't care about it. I just focus on the EXP for my mules, and which is entirely what this video's main objectives is. So yeah, with that being said, once again, if anyone actually needs or wants to see the Excel sheet in its entirety, I will have it on my Twitter, and it'll probably be linked in the description by the time I do this. If I don't, please someone let me know, and I'll actually have it linked in there. So, with that being said, if anyone has any questions or anything else they want me to break down for any specific events, please let me know down in the description, in the comments, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!